Well, Merry Christmas, everybody. I am going to insert a video right here that I shot, I don't know, 20 days ago, 10 days ago. Yeah, 10 days ago, something like that. Well, it's been almost a month. Today's the 12th. This would have been drilled the 15th. Still nothing up yet, per se, that we have finally sprouted. Not that one. That one there. So, we're gonna get cold again this weekend. But then we have another warm streak. So, hopefully, we stay, well, honestly, hopefully we stay a little bit mild. We either need to stay mild or get cold and it not come up, or it needs to stay mild long enough that it comes up and can get a little bit more established. But yeah, we'll see how this stuff ends up doing, like I said. So now we know November 15th, you're not going to see something for a while, for over a month, coming out of the ground in north central Kansas. Always learning something. So you just seen how stuff was in that video. So yeah, today is Christmas, and let me show you this. We finally got some seed germinating, or coming up through the soil. I guess it's been germinated. I don't know if you can see that right there. There's a little bit more. So it finally is coming up. Never would have guessed that it was going to take that long, especially considering how mild of a fall we've had overall. We have not been super cold. We definitely haven't been cold since, was that 1st of December or so? We kind of had a cold snap, I guess. But there we go, there's a good stretch. I don't know if it was December or November, we had a pretty good cold stretch there. But other than that, we really have not been that bad by any stretch of the imagination. What's honestly almost more shocking is it has been this overcast, foggy stuff for 2 days now. We had a little bit of a reprieve from the fog yesterday for just, I don't know, an hour, maybe. But then last night going to church, it set back in. It's honestly the only reason why it even remotely feels a little seasonal is just because the overcast. So it kind of makes the Christmas lights actually show up during the day. But yeah, just walking on this front piece, I'll flip you back around so you quit staring at my ugly mug. Yeah, we're getting some good stuff sprouting. Yes, you'll see the hen bit. I just was not worried about the hen bit. I wasn't going to spend any more money this year to come out and spray it out. Because besides the hen bit, we also have our feral hairy vetch out here. I think that we planted this thick enough that the hen bit that is there, I think it's going to get it suppressed. Got a little bit of I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head right now. Oh, give me a minute. Curly dock. I knew I'd think of it. At least that's what we call it, is curly dock. I know there's another name for it. That's what we call it. But we don't have a lot of that out here, so it's not that big a deal, even if a little bit of that comes up. In my experience, that stuff, curly dock, likes to grow in wet and compacted soil. So yeah, not that big a deal. It's serving a purpose. So this is kind of why I wanted to come out here, was to see, like I said, we've been overcast here for the last 2 days, but even with this overcast, we're not wet by any stretch, which, I mean, it hasn't amounted to nothing. It's just been a lot of humidity in the air. This stuff might be dry enough that we could probably go ahead and get stuff spread. If they ever get over here, get some manure put on this ground. I mean, these areas are still a little wet, but yeah, that's a little bit of a wet spot. I don't know. I guess if they could just avoid driving in the wet spot, who knows if seed will even come up in that stuff. Might have rotted. See the deer tracks? Man, do we have some deer out here. Jiminy Christmas. Another little low spot, little wet spot. It's just a spot like this and that other one, a few small spots, I can live with it as far as let's just send it. Get the manure spread. But what I don't want to have is stuff like this. Huge widespread areas that are low spots that are holding water or are still really wet. We chopped this, so already got plenty of traffic on it. That's a story for another day, but yeah, I'm just looking here. We might be okay. I know some of you are probably thinking, well, what are you doing out in the field on Christmas Day? Frankly, I just needed to get out of the house for a little bit. Been at home plenty with kids by myself here last few days, and sometimes you just need to get out for a few minutes and just so at least that's how I feel. If you don't, great, but me, I definitely do at times just want to get out of the house for a little bit by myself and just walk. We got stuff coming up. It's coming. This week it is supposed to, or this weekend, it's supposed to cool off, looks like, for a little bit. Just a couple of days, like highs in the 30s and lows down into the teens. That shouldn't be a problem as long as we don't sustain that for very long, or we don't get much colder than that. With this stuff germinating or sprouting, whatever terminology, it's obviously germinated. It's been germinated for a while. It's taken a long time to actually pop through. But this is the area that I was worried about. I don't want this to be a swamp and then come traffic this up. But it looks like it'll be dry enough to go. Because this is an area that I really think we need some extra manure on. I think it'd do a world of good on this area. This over here. It's just always been a tough spot since I've been farming it. Always been a tough area. I think we had one really good stand on it, and that was like a July 4th planted warm season forage in this area. Planted Milo on one half of the field and forage sorghum on the other half of the field, literally a month apart. And the stuff that was planted July 4th versus the stuff that was planted June 4th, whatever. The grass control and the stuff planted July 4th was night and day difference between the other half of the field, and it still shows up to this day. But we did graze this, but it's just, I don't know, something about this spot in the field. But no, I think we'll be good. I think we'd be good to spread. I think it'd be worth it doing it while the weather's good. Oh wow, this video's kind of starting to stretch. I'm just rambling. Yeah, we'll see what we end up cutting and leaving. But I don't know about you guys, but I've been playing around with AI a lot, as far as especially ChatGPT. I started with Grok and kind of switched over to ChatGPT, and I think I like ChatGPT better. Just, you know, playing scenarios out with it as far as nutrient loads or nutrient management, cropping sequences, what kind of what can we expect to get with the cover crop as far as available nutrients based on what we planted, doing the compost program, manure program, whatever you want to call it. And I just gotta say, I've really enjoyed it. That's all I'm gonna say, is I have really enjoyed being able to just, and I'm not saying it's 100% accurate, but if it's even 80% accurate as far as the nutrient content we can get out of the compost, the nutrient content we're going to get out of this cover crop, if it's a halfway decent standard cover crop, there's no reason it shouldn't be. Planted enough seed, we should be fine that way. theoretically, we might not need to do anything besides maybe a cheap, simple starter program, and then we'll just see. I mean, with the way prices are, if we can do a good job with the manure, like I said, get a good cover crop stand, it might not even be worth doing a foliar program on it. There comes a time when everything costs money. I don't care how cheap whatever it is you're doing is, it's still going to cost money. So if we can avoid spending that extra dollar and we can just spend $1 on the manure that will that gives us the nutrients plus the carbon in one pass, so we're getting multiple benefits from it versus just like 32% or whatever UAN. To me, it's a pretty cheap program. We're already going to do the cover crop. We're already going to get the benefit of the cover crop. So that's the direction I'm leaning with the way prices are right now, is we might really start leaning into using manure, especially with the person who's going to apply it. The rate that he's charging, it's pretty darn competitive. Now the plan is on this field is to only do 5 tons because of the crop that we're going to go into this with, which is either going to be milo or sunflower. Have not 100% decided that, but if we're going corn, we probably would do somewhere between 15 and 20 tons an acre. But we're not going to corn. But again, by only doing the 5 tons, we shouldn't get the weed pressure. We'll get the nutrient content, we'll get the carbon boost, and then, like I said, see what we do next year. I almost think, even ahead of soybeans, I think a low dose like that of the 5 tons an acre of manure, why not? That gives you your phos, that gives you your nitrogen for the soybeans, what little they do need. I mean, that way they maybe don't convert all your carbon. I don't know. It just, like I said, playing around with ChatGPT, you start crunching the numbers. It's fun. So I definitely encourage you to play around with it. Play around with some sort of AI. Just use it as a way to bounce ideas off of, if nothing else. So, but with that, like I said, I don't know where we're at on this video. I'll put together, see how long it's been. I'm sure most of you haven't even made it this far, but if you do, leave a comment if you made it all the way through this garbage of just me rambling. So yeah, hope you guys have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see if we get anything else put out before the new year or for New Year's. So we'll talk at you guys later. As always, hit that like button. Thanks for watching.